It's July 10th, 1856, midnight, in the tiny village of SMILJAN, tucked away in the mountains of Croatia. A storm is raging that feels like the world is ending. Inside a small stone house, a child is being born. The midwife looks at the lightning and calls it a bad omen. She says this child will be a child of darkness. But his mother, a woman who couldn't read or write, but had a mind like a steel trap, she looked at her newborn son and says, no, he will be a child of light.
They say that he was born precisely in midnight and there was a thunderstorm. And here in SMILJAN, there's a lot of thunderstorms during the summer. A lot of them, yeah. So he was born in deep night, in midnight, and the maternal nurse said to his mother, oh, he's going to be a child of storm or something like that. But his mother said to her, no, he's going to be a child of light.
In this episode, we are traveling to the village of SMILJAN to find the spark that started a revolution. We are chatting about the prophecy and the land, how the rugged nature of the Lika region and the midnight lightning storm shaped the identity of a young visionary. The reckless genius. From jumping off a stable roof with an umbrella to becoming a hometown hero at a fire demonstration, we explore the early signs of Tesla's daring mind. And the mother of invention, we reveal the profound influence that Duka Mandić, the unschooled but brilliant woman Tesla credited for his photographic memory and creative spirit.
You're listening to the Rudderless Travel podcast, a podcast about purposeful travel, sharing inspirational stories, and unlocking a destination's secrets.
Hey, my friends. It's Christopher Rudder, an award-winning travel content creator and expert with Rudderless Media. Okay, so I'm so excited to be putting this one together. It's been a few years, not necessarily working on the episode, but, well, let me explain. My partner, Gordana, whose voice you hear every now and then, and the face you see in the videos and on the website, is from former Yugoslavia. Her grandmother lived in the neighboring town called Gospić, where she spent a great deal of her childhood. It's about a 6-kilometer, 8-minute drive from Nikola Tesla's childhood home. Can you believe it? So once I heard this, I knew I wanted to visit, which of course we did. So the next year, en route to the Adriatic Sea, we visited her childhood home, hung out with her cousins Mila and Kata and their families, and then visited the museum to see her other cousin who just happened to work there. After that second visit, I already had this episode in mind. Because when you think of Tesla, most people know the car. But to truly understand the man, you have to come here to SMILJAN. Along with Gospić, it's a tiny village in the Lika region of Croatia, tucked between the rugged Velebit Mountains and the Adriatic coast. A place where the bura, that famous fierce Croatian wind, can knock you off your feet. I came here expecting another dry, technical museum, a place of cold wires and old patents, but the reality, SMILJAN has a soul. It's lush, green, and incredibly peaceful, with its beautiful fields and mountains. You can see exactly why a child who spent his days catching frogs in these creeks would grow up to find energy in the forces of nature. I'm here because I wanted to see the attic where he slept and the church where his father preached. I wanted to know if the child of light legend felt real when you're standing on the very ground where the lightning struck. To help me unlock the secrets of his childhood, I sat down with Dino Jamičić, the promotional activities coordinator here at the Memorial Center. So how did the surroundings of the surrounding Lika region, cultural environment, inform the start of his story?
Some say that if he was born in America, that he will be 20 times bigger. But maybe not. Maybe this was some inspiration for him, because he was obsessed with nature, with energy, with strong winds, with water, with everything. So maybe it gave him inspiration.
Dino explained to me that the Lika region is famous for its intense, powerful winds. As a boy, Tesla was fascinated by these invisible currents. He realized very early on that energy isn't just something you make in a lab. It's something that comes directly from nature.
It's very interesting that here there are strong winds, always strong winds, and he was always obsessed with this, this currents of winds of like energy. So everything about him was energy, and he always stated that energy comes from the nature. So we all know that now, right? Of course, energy comes from the nature.
Of course, you don't just become the man who invents the 20th century by playing it safe now, do you? Tesla was a wildly curious and sometimes reckless kid. There are all these legendary, almost mystic stories about him, like the time he tried to fly by jumping off the roof of a stable holding nothing but an umbrella. Honestly, when I hear stories like this, I always wonder if they're just exaggerated local folklore. How does the Memorial Center view and showcase these early, almost legendary moments of his life?
Well, we of course, through the history, there are some stories that were being, told by generations and generations. Some of those we cannot fact check till this day because it was predated, you cannot find the exact documents. But from the folks of this area come a lot of stories about Nikola Tesla, and we try to preserve this kind of narrative. And also, why would they lie about some of the trivial stuff and fun stuff like that?
Of course.
For example, him jumping from the rooftop of the stable. He stated also that he was catching frogs here on this little creek. So there's a lot of things that are just trivial, childish things that even till this day we just try to preserve this humane side of Nikola Tesla.
But it wasn't just jumping off roofs. Dino told me about a time when Tesla was just a little boy in the neighboring town of Gospich. The local fire department was doing a big public demonstration, showing off their new equipment to the whole town. But something went wrong. They threw the hose into the river, pumped the engine, and nothing. No water came out. The adults were totally confused, and the demonstration was on the brink of failure until young Tesla stepped up.
So little Nikola came there. He unscrewed the hose and cleaned the trash out of it, and screwed it back again. And then he was a hero in his hometown for a couple of days. They even carried him like on their shoulder.
Oh my gosh! I love that. Oh wow!
Yeah, that's some of the story. That's the story that I've heard from my father like 30 years, or almost like 30 years ago.
Wow!
Yeah.
If you want to dive deeper into this story, visit us over at rudderlesstravel.com/podcasts.
Tesla's father was a highly educated Orthodox priest who spoke 5 languages. He initially wanted Tesla to follow in his footsteps, join the priesthood, or become a soldier. But Tesla always credited his inventive genius and creative thinking and his legendary photographic memory to a different source, his mother Duka. He was often said that he had this amazing photographic memory and creative thinking came from his mother. And so do you have any specific stories or things from his childhood here and Gospich that really show how his unique mind started and how much his mother's influence meant to him, even without a formal education?
Well, his mother's side, he always stated, they had some even their own inventions, like even his grandfather. He always stated that his mother's side of the family was far more wise let's say so to speak, but they were also known in their villages for invention kind of way of thinking, like they were inventors, so to speak. They had even their own inventions in their village. Some, like, I don't know, it was like mills or something like that. Yeah. So, but it's interesting that his father was a very educated man. He spoke four or five languages, but his mother was illiterate. So it's very interesting for him to say that kind of stuff. But he believed it, and I also believe that it was true. But his mother by his words, his mother could recite like songs and poems very from the from the back of her head, yeah, from her memory.
Duca's family were known throughout the area for building practical mechanical tools like local mills. She passed that hands-on curiosity down to her son. In fact, one of Tesla's earliest profound realizations about electricity happened right in his childhood home, completely by accident while he was petting his cat. Are there any exhibits or stories at the Memorial Center that highlight Tesla's childhood curiosity?
Yeah, of course. There are some posters. There are some where he's playing with a cat. You're gonna see when you come there. We have a little building that is that has a spray paint, like also almost a graffiti that is with him and the cat.
Right.
Well, basically, what he did is he understood the static electricity when he was like stroking. And then it stuck, the fur stuck to his fingers.
It's wild to think that a man who would eventually build the world's first hydroelectric power plant in Niagara Falls started by simply feeling the static shock from his childhood pet. But as he grew older, his path almost took a completely different direction. So when Tesla was a teenager, he had a close call with cholera. And his father, who was an Orthodox priest, initially thought he should become a priest.
Yeah.
So
So initially, there were two stories, either priest or I think soldier.
Okay.
Right. But Tesla got very sick of cholera.
Yeah.
So he was in bed for months and months and months, and people believe that he's not going to make it out. He caught cholera when he was in Karlovac in high school.
Right.
And then they sent him here, and he was in bed all the time. And his father didn't know what to say else but to console him, and he told him, okay, you're gonna go to Graz, you're gonna study polytechnics, you're gonna be everything you wanted to be.
Surviving cholera literally changed the trajectory of human history because his father kept that promise. Tesla went off to study engineering in Austria and later moved to Budapest. It was during this time, away from home, that his unique ability to perfectly visualize complex 3D mechanical inventions in his head finally unlocked the secret to alternating current. He first observed the challenges of DC motors while studying in Graz, right? And then later fully conceived the alternating current principle in Budapest. However, he often spoke of his ability to visualize complex inventions in these dimensions from his youth.
From his youth, yeah. Well, basically, he had some sort of epiphanies, we could call it like that. So one day he was walking through Budapest park. He was around 24, 25 years old. And he was reciting Johann Wolfgang Goethe's Faust. You're going to see it if you watch the movie. I'm going to show you later. And then he said, like a flash of thunder, of lightning, there came an idea to me. And I drew the diagrams in the sand.
And just to be clear, the whole thing that he drew in the sand. So that concept is now in a bunch of appliances that we use every day. So give us an example of some of those appliances.
Yeah, that concept is actually, that is a principle on which electromotor works, or induction motor, as we call it. So we have it today. Of course, it's modernized, but we still use till this day Tesla's invention that is over 130 years old. So we have it in air conditioning, of course, washing machine. Every time you turn on the washing machine, you hear the electromotor. You have it in appliances such as also PlayStation, because it has a little electromotor.
Right, yeah.
Vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners,
Yeah,
hair
stuff,
dryers.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't use hair dryers, but they're in hair dryers. my hair is, I don't need it for my hair. But yes, they're in hair dryers, yeah. Imagine that. The next time you fire up your PlayStation or throw a load of laundry into the wash, remember that it's all powered by a concept that a 24-year-old Nikola Tesla literally drew in the dirt with a stick in a public park.
I could see in your eyes all the stars have aligned. So let this be our guide. Let me stay by your side.
If inventing the alternating current motor wasn't enough, Tesla's mind was already racing miles ahead into the future. Up in the attic of the house here at the Memorial Center, there is an incredibly cool replica of one of his most ambitious projects, the Colorado Springs Lab. The Memorial Center features a replica of Tesla's high-voltage Colorado Springs lab, representing the height of his experimental ambition. So what is the significance of placing the replica here, and what can we learn from this replica about his how he experimented and his quest for wireless energy?
The Colorado Springs experiment, known as Tesla's coil or Tesla's transformer, we call it Zavonica in Croatian. It has the utmost meaning here also because it's the pinnacle of his invention mind. Why? Because this was one of the most important experiments for me in the history of humankind last 130 years, because it sets the ground for practically all the technology that we use here.
So let's just do a rundown. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that that he's done. There's things that have no, he didn't finish. But let's just do a quick list of just the top things that he is known for that are affecting the world today.
Okay, radio waves, radio, electromotor, still using it. We just stated. Transmission of energy without wires, practically wireless transmission. You also have today these wireless chargers for phones.
That's right.
Yeah. What do we see in the air? What are the kids flying? Drones, teleautomatics, hydraulics. The list goes on and on.
And then the turbines. Yeah.
Yeah, like most of the technology, let's be real.
Yeah.
Most of the, he set the ground for most of the technology that we're using today. And like, it wasn't like 40, 50, 60 years ago. It was 100 and almost 40 years ago that he started all that.
With that level of visionary genius, you inevitably attract rumors, mystery, and conspiracy. Tesla was a man who lived alone in hotel rooms, fed pigeons, and claimed to receive signals from space. And then there was the infamous death ray, a rumored superweapon that he supposedly invented. I had to ask Dino about that. That's what I really liked about him, is that he was very about humanity.
Yeah.
So he wanted things to be used in a way that will benefit humankind.
Only thing that I know about this, that practically there's a frequency or something like that that could pierce directly through the core of the earth that Tesla had in his position. But I think that Tesla, once that he realized that his inventions could be used very wrongly, then he backed out of a lot of things. Tesla used to hang out with people, he used to go out, but when the war started, he kind of didn't communicate. He stopped a lot of communication with people. He got a little bit more introverted. And as the wars, like he died in 1943, there was a World War I before that. So last 25 years of his life, he backed out of society a little bit. So it's not, for me, it's not coincidental. We also need to ask ourselves, why was that just on the verge of great wars? Why didn't he want to, step forward in and claim I have ray of death or something like that, because he was smart, and he always stated that he worked for better, like for improvement and well-being of mankind, not the other way around.
1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tesla was a man out of time, a genius whose brain operated 100 years ahead of everyone else, burdened by the realization of what humanity might do with his gifts. But before all the madness, the patents, the war of the currents, and the lonely hotel rooms in New York, he was just a kid from the Liga region. Exit question. So when people come here, what do you want people to take away about Nikola Tesla, about this museum?
Well, to me, I think that people sometimes miss the point of this museum.
Mm.
We all know who Nikola Tesla is. We all know that he didn't live here for all of his life, and he didn't realize all of the stuff here. He didn't develop patents here. He was just a kid who then moved to Gospić and then went to Europe and then later to USA. But I want people to realize two things: that he was born in a beautiful place here, who his ancestors were, what is his background, how smart and how nice of a child and kid he was, and that he had a very, very warm human side. And also, I want people to realize the genius of Nikola Tesla through this memorial center, and that they carry that in their mind. Okay, this is like a memorial center, and this is his birthplace. For the bigger experiments, you have technical museums, but this place has a soul. And we may not have the best Tesla coils experiments, but it's not the important thing. We have Tesla's house, birthhouse, that was directory. We have a church, everything spiritually that developed him as a person. Yeah. So you see this beautiful nature. We have a little coil that you can see the brilliance of Tesla's transmission, wireless transmission. You see his church. You can imagine that he was playing here, that he was fishing here, and that's all facts. We all know that. Maybe when you are in Manhattan, you see 1 million people on the street, and you cannot know. Okay, maybe Tesla was here. Okay, his laboratory was here, but did he cross path here, or here? You know that he was in this kitchen, he was in this attic, he was in he fished just right here on this creek. He used to come here to see his father do his work here. So it's a great place for me. It's a great place.
I love that. That's a perfect answer, actually. Yeah. Being here, honestly, this place does have a soul. Dino hit the nail on the head. Walking through SMILJAN, you don't just see the birthplace of an inventor. You see the environment that forged a visionary. A huge thank you to Dino and the Nikola Tesla Memorial Center for showing us where the magic began. But Tesla's journey was only just starting. Next up on the Rudderless Travel podcast, we follow Tesla's path from the mountains of Croatia to the vibrant city of Belgrade, Serbia. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and share it with a friend who maybe loves history and travel. You can find all the show notes, including links to the Memorial Center, at rudderlesstravel.com/podcast. Until next time, stay rudderless.